Issue 95. We start out with Sonic, who's gotten himself his own apartment in the heart of New Tech City because he's tired of living with the Chaotix. Being told just now that Shortfuse joined his old gang, and he calls Tails' little buddy, reassuring him that he knew they were missing him. Then something makes the whole building shake, and Sonic calls Tails' buddy saying he has to cut the chat. He sees two big villains I don't care about fighting and causing collateral damage. And Sonic doesn't know which one of them is the bad guy. It's always amusing when he has this problem because it really showcases how relatively outsider he is. And he hopes he'll get a clue about it as he tells them to stop fighting before an innocent bystander would get hurt. Sonic gets told to mind his own business. And it's revealed that the two of them are brothers and both of them are evil. A building starts to collapse, with it being conveniently revealed that it was already empty and due for demolition anyways. This is so condescending. Like, at least Sonic Adventure never tried to have us believe that the entirety of Station Square was completely empty, aside from Sonic X where everyone was evacuated just in time. But I mean due for demolition. Sonic's told that these villains, the Bruise brothers, get into a fight like this every month. Well, that is interesting. Sonic panics at seeing an old woman in the middle of the two and carries her away to safety. She probably hits him with her cane, and Sonic naturally calls her out on being an ungrateful bitch. She says that the two villains aren't deadly monsters, just very naughty boys, even though they clearly caused the whole building to collapse. I call that a monster. I'd understand if a zone like this would make Sonic not bother trying to be a hero in it anymore. As I expected from her dismissive dialogue, she's the mother of the two fighting men, and Sonic is told that the fights end the same way every time. She has an amusing line, "Just you two wait until your father gets home, and put down that bus at once!" Sonic ends the story by wishing he could just get out of this crazy zone. Okay, that was pretty funny. I guess I'll forgive that for being pointless too. In the next story, Knuckles is told by a talking tree that he's the eldest of the fauna. Don't you mean the flora because you're a plant? Anyways, he says that only one of Knuckles' kind would think that a tree race being able to talk makes them special, but it does! Idiot. Also, is he talking about echidnas or all organic beings? The tree tells the protesters to leave for their own safety, oldest tree or not. That's nice of him. Then Eggman's robots show up, and Knuckles joins the fight along with one of the Black Cat Mobians who creates a force field. The story ends with some of the talking trees getting angry at the oldest tree being destroyed by a laser, and they create a giant forest as a result. Why didn't they do that earlier? In the next story, Techno asks in the deserted Emerald Hill Zone what's sticking out of the ground, and Amy recognizes it as one of the flying saucers from Marble Garden Zone, which Techno wants to repair immediately. After Amy looks forward to using it to fly like Tails or Shortfuse and be more competent, Techno says that she's fitted a remote control device to it that Amy can operate with a wrist gadget. Did I mention that I like Techno? She's kind of like a cool big sister figure. Even if she seems like just a generic nice girl otherwise, it's cool that she's a genius, and I'd rather her be the gadgeteer than have Porker here being a coward instead. I don't know why we couldn't have both, though. Amy flies the saucer and gets ambushed by egg robos, one of whom has a cloaking device. She gets brought to the ground and lampshades how stupid the egg puns are. If the writer knows that we're tired of them, he should stop forcing them down our throats. Amy then uses her remote control to send her flying saucers to them and explode them all. Oh, for fuck's sake! That's just what I figured. Instead of her getting to be useful with a flying saucer for the rest of the comic, it gets destroyed in one issue. Compare that to Archie, where after the Freedom Fighters got helped by the Dark Legion, who helped free Angel Island from Eggman, the heroes permanently had UFOs on their team, and it was cool. In the next story, the Freedom Fighters get threatened by a dragon, and Tails is told to think for himself by Shortfuse about how to distract the dragon. He doesn't seem to realize just the kind of impact that Sonic's had on him. Shortfuse shoots it with a laser, and then gets hit with fire and grabbed, and Johnny gets smacked and dazed by its tail. The dragon takes off, and Amy tells Shortfuse not to attack it, arbitrarily saying that the dragon hasn't done anything wrong. Excuse me? Shortfuse responds to the forced idiocy by reminding her that the dragon tried to attack them. And Techno is also an idiot by saying Amy is right. Is it just because they're girls? It's so stupid. I'd understand if Shortfuse got really mad at this and took off on these self-righteous idiots. Tails goes over to the dragon by himself to apologize to him, and the dragon complains that he'll have to wander the planet alone for 1,000 years with no other dragons around. And after 1,000 years, he'll merely be a teenager. Well, like, this is... Did Dulcie the dragon have this kind of a long lifespan? I don't know. It makes more sense because it's a dragon. Of course it would be that magical. Tails asks the dragon to fight Eggman in the meantime, but bullshit happens because the selfish dragon doesn't even listen to him and says that he'll let him know in a few years if he wants to do that because he just woke up. And we never see this guy again. The story ends with Amy worrying that Shortfuse's temper could foul up a mission and land the heroes in trouble. And I'm guessing this clumsy foreshadowing will mean that this will happen. So thanks for that last panel there. The first story by Nigel Kitching was pointless, but worth it because it was amusing. At least it had a very unique twist instead of Sonic saving the day. It's a shame we never got a chance to learn what the two brothers were fighting about. You'd think they would explain the whole premise of the story. The second story, by the same person, has the eldest tree get destroyed and the other trees create a giant forest as a result, and this is treated like a horrible thing by one of the protesters, whose psychic vision was right this time, when her visions were inexplicably wrong so many other times. And the third story by Lou Stringer has the dragon fight the heroes, leave, and then Shortfuse is treated like the bad guy for wanting to destroy the evil dragon for that. Even after it's revealed that the dragon doesn't feel like fighting Eggman, and will instead wander the planet for a millennium doing nothing to help. For all they know, the dragon's going to go around torching villages. Amy shouldn't have said that the dragon was doing nothing wrong, because it clearly could have killed them with its attacking. They should at least try to monitor it. I don't understand Shortfuse getting mad because of these self-righteous idiots being around him all the time. There was no reason for them to defend that evil dragon. Maybe it would have gone another way if the dragon didn't talk and get them to see him as a person. Heroes should know which people are villains. Oh yeah, and that was the fourth story. The actual third story just had a cool Marble Garden Zone UFO of Amy's get destroyed. So much for her being more competent. I think there's a reason that I forgot about it.